everybody. I don't have the usual intro and all that stuff because I'm doing this by my phone and I didn't get a chance to put my makeup on, so please excuse how I look. And the lighting in here is kind of funky too. Um, but Wes, no, Steve doesn't have any gerbils, and so they're not going to be the special guest. However, and I hope you guys can hear me and stuff. It looks like there's maybe one person in here. Um, well, now two. So hopefully, and you can hear Sammy whining in the background, so please excuse that as well. But I'm going to have several special guests with me today, and they are not human guests, they're going to be animal guests. And remember when I told you the last time I did a special guest stream and I had Ash, my ball python, on there, and I said that, I had an iguana and some guinea pigs and stuff. Now the guinea pigs I could maybe bring out, but the iguana, it's a little bit tougher. And I'd probably get all scratched up and all that stuff. So I decided against that, plus the dogs acting up and stuff. So I am actually in their domain, the iguana's domain, the guinea pig's domain, and the ball python's domain right now. And so you're going to get to see Ash again, but this time he's going to be in this enclosure. But you're also going to get to meet Toby, my iguana, named after Toby Hooper. And you're going to get to meet my two guinea pigs, Rusty and Ripley. Rusty is named after one of Joe Bob Briggs' past mail girls. And Ripley, of course, is named after Sigourney Weaver's character in the Alien film. So, and you know who Ash is named after. I'm not called the Evil Dead chick for nothing, right? So, let's get to, let me see if I can switch the cam real quick without cutting things off. So give me just a second here. Whoops. I always do the wrong thing there. Let me go to settings, camera. Oop, that's not it. There we go. Now we can see the room here. And Ash was actually out. Yeah, actually, I think you can see him. He's kind of, but he's kind of sticking out right by his water bowl there. He hides out in the day. You can kind of see his body there, coming out of his little log hides. And so there's not much to see with Ash right now because, like I said, he hides during the day. However, Toby, let's see. Hopefully you can see Toby there. He's kind of a lazy, ornery thing most of the time, but I love him. I may see if we can open. Try switching that for a second. Get out of this here. Let me see if I can open. And hopefully he won't try to fly out because that's what he does when it's breeding season. Are you going to behave now, Toby? See how he's raising up there? Sometimes he gets kind of ornery. He doesn't like me coming into his domain much. You can see his tail there. But yeah, Steve actually built this enclosure for him, and then I've been fixing it up over time. Just don't mind the mess in there. This is his little friend here. He has a stuffed iguana. See, he don't like me doing that. Toby, let's behave for our guests, though, that are watching you, okay? So I don't really see anybody chatting other than Wes put a comment in there So if you are in here and you want to ask a question, feel free. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. But yeah, Steve did a good job on this enclosure. And like I said, I've been slowly like putting artificial grass mats in here to make it more natural. He has a ramp. Like I said, I need to clean his enclosure, so please excuse some of the messes around there. And he's got different shelves and he can get on. He's got hammocks. He's got things he can climb on. I've got some artificial plants. This is kind of like a makeshift hammock that he likes to sleep in a lot. We put these lights in because we figured out something that was potentially dangerous. It could have caused a big house fire. And it scared me enough that I was like, we got to do something else, because I used to have like hanging lights. I used to have hanging lights, like the ones you put on top of a bearded dragon's enclosure. Sorry, guys, for the way this is looking right now, but I'm trying to close up the enclosure. And somehow it fell off of its hook. I don't know if Toby pulled it down or what, but it landed right on one of these shelves on the fabric and just started smoking. So thankfully I came home from work. Hey, Darren. I came home from work at just the right time because this whole room was filled with smoke. And there was a burning smell, and two of the dogs were in their crates in here. I felt terrible. Plus, it could have caused our house to burn down. You can also see beware of iguana sign. So that learned me my lesson. So now we have fixtures actually screwed into the wood there, and so they can't fall down, and Toby can't pull them down. So it's a much better thing. So if you're ever thinking about getting an iguana and eventually having an enclosure this large, that's going to be your best bet for lighting. You can get these at almost at Walmart. You can get these fixtures at Amazon. And as long as you don't put any more than, like, I'd say 200-watt bulbs in there, you should be okay. I mean, it is electricity, so you can't like overdo it on the wattage. But you can see the really great job that Steve did on this enclosure. I had the plans for him, but I mean, I couldn't have done it myself. I did some of the inside work myself, like the decorating and stuff. You can see I put more green, almost like astroturf type stuff on the walls, on the side walls. And Toby loves climbing on them, because when it was just bare plywood, he couldn't really get any grip and climb on them. You can see a hose up there. That is because he's actually got two hoses. These go to humidifiers. I've got two humidifiers, one on each side of the enclosure, because these animals need humidity. My snake, Ash, also needs humidity, and he has a small humidifier because his enclosure is not that large. You can maybe see Ash again over here. See his little head there? He was flicking out his tongue. He was coming to say hello to everybody, I think. So that's his setup. You've pretty much seen the iguana setup. Here's Ripley. Ripley is one of my guinea pigs. Say hello, Ripley. Ripley's drinking water right now. Ripley actually is the younger of the two guinea pigs. I did have, sorry, it got blurry there for a second. I did have another guinea pig with Rusty, and her name was Honey. She was named after Joe Bob Briggs' original male girl. But Honey was a little bit older when I got her. She was a rescue from the guinea pig rescue here in Louisville. And So I'm not sure how old she was. Hey, you want to come say hello, Ripley? And she passed away. And so we got Ripley so that Rusty wouldn't be lonely. I'm going to try to see if I can get Rusty to come out of there. You can hear them making their noises. Guinea pigs make a variety of noises. This is usually their happy noise. There's Rusty. Hey, Rusty. And guinea pigs are also good pets. They're very friendly. My guinea pigs have never bit me or anything like that. Sometimes they get a little skittish when you try to hold them or get them out of the cage. But they're very friendly. They're very social. They get really close to their pet parents because when they hear anybody coming, whether it's me or Steve, they start making this weak, weak, weak sound, which is their happy sound. It's almost equivalent to them doing a happy dance. But they also make other sounds. Sometimes when they're a little perturbed with one another, they will go woo like that. It's kind of a low woo sound. Um, and I haven't really seen them fight or anything. I've seen rats fight. I've had pet rats too, but I haven't really seen these little girls fight. I've never had any male guinea pigs, so I don't know if they're different in temperament to the females, but my females have been really good. Um, and they usually will eat some kind of hay. You can see some of the hay that's scattered in their enclosure. I have a little pig hideout for them. That is also their litter box, which they use about 75% of the time, maybe, or 50% of the time, something like that. Hey, Unseen. Hey, Blissful. Um, but the only thing about guinea pigs is you really have to keep their enclosures clean. So if you have if you're wanting a guinea pig or your child is wanting a guinea pig, just make sure if it's a child that they're willing to clean this enclosure at least every other week. Because if you don't, you're going to get the fruit fly problem like we had. Because I have never had an animal. I've had rats and mice and different kinds of animals and never had any draw fruit flies like these little girls. So just keep in mind that they're fun animals to have. They're very loving and accepting of you, but they can become smelly and they can draw fruit flies if you don't clean out their enclosure quite frequently. You can also tell that this is a very long enclosure. This is on basically I think a 6-foot table that I got at Walmart to put this enclosure on. And a word of warning: if you want to adopt from a rescue, they usually will not let you adopt unless you have an enclosure this big. Okay. And that is because guinea pigs need, running space. They're not like rats, who rats like to climb and stuff. So you can have one of those Critter Nation enclosures and have one stacked on top of the other, and they will climb through those. Guinea pigs don't do that. Guinea pigs don't generally climb really. So some people they don't even have a top like this. It's just open at the top. And I was like, nah, I can't risk it because I have dogs and other animals, including a snake. And so I really didn't want to risk that. I'd be, horrified if the dogs jumped up there and got in or got one of them or both of them. So, and I have dogs with a high prey drive. So Reggie's one of them. So anyway, just a little bit about guinea pigs. I don't know if any of you guys and gals will be considering wanting a guinea pig or an iguana or a ball python. But I just thought I'd share a little bit about them while I was on here. So you've met Rusty and Ripley. They're cute little girls, aren't they? Everybody has met Toby. Um, Toby, you gonna say hi to everybody? I mean, he's curious about people, but he can be a little temperamental. And people have actually been bitten by their iguanas quite viciously in some cases. People have had to go to the emergency room and all that business. One girl got bit in the face by her iguana and had to be stitched up pretty good. So you have to be careful with them. I'm not telling people not to get an iguana, but they are, you got to be careful as far as their temperament. When it's breeding season, which Toby's getting ready probably to come up on a breeding season about next month sometimes. And he's a monster when he's like that. He's a very angry little guy or big guy. And I usually don't mess with him during that time period unless it's to put food and water in his enclosure. Okay. This is another type of enclosure that's very large. This is like, as you can see, let me step back just a little bit here. This thing takes up about half of this room. It takes up a large amount of wall space. So if you're thinking about, thinking that you might want an iguana, be ready to be investing in some wood and some chicken wire and time. Plywood, hinges, these little sliding door locks. I've got hooks on this thing because let me tell you, not only are snakes escape artists, but these big guys are escape artists as well. And Toby has actually gotten out of his enclosure more than once and been exploring this room, which some people let their iguanas free roam. However, I don't think that would be in Toby's best interest with the other animals that we've got around here. I heard about somebody that had a young iguana and their dog crunched down on its head and killed it. So just, you gotta be careful when you have multiple types of animals around and make sure that all the animals are safe. Ash is out again. He's actually sunning. You guys and gals can get a good view of him in his comfortable environment. Relax in there. He knows he's safe. And I've got to feed him soon. It's going to be time to feed him another frozen rat. You're hungry, ain't you, Ash? But I smell something that doesn't smell. I hate to say, when you have multiple dogs, they let off gas sometimes. So, but I can also take you around. I was not really planning on it, but since, I got 9 people in here, permit me to, you can see Red's there. And Sammy is being loud. Sammy, be good. But this is Sammy. This is Ernie, my bearded dragon, who is named after the bearded dragon on Joe Bob's Last Drive-In. Sammy, be quiet, please. You want to go on camera? Will that make you be quiet? Sorry for the loud. There's my girl Zoe. She's my new best friend. And these are my parakeets. I was trying to Sammy. Somebody's going to be recording me just like Steve yelling "shut up" at the dogs, but that, you can imagine, that gets on my last nerve, that repeated barking that he does. But I was trying to get both of the parakeets so you could see them. Now, the blue one back there behind the ladder is Dario, named after Dario Argento. The yellow parakeet there, that is Kane, named after Kane Hodder. So I pretty much You can see Darcy there. Darcy is named after. Shut up, please. Be quiet. Sammy, be quiet. Darcy is named after Joe Aubrey's current mailman on the last drive-in. And there's Brink way back there in Darcy's bed in the kitchen. Hush. And Brink is, of course, named after Brink Stevens. Sorry for losing my whole train of thought there. So I'm going to attempt to get back here behind this gate and get back into a civilization of some sort. So I will turn the camera back on me real quick here. Richie, you say you had a hamster and a chameleon. Blissful, you say I love bearded dragons. Blissful, you say Sammy is taking over the live stream. His dream is to be a YouTube creator. Evidently so. Yes, John. Sammy is a talker, and yes, we have a lot of animals. Let's see if I can turn this camera back on myself real quick here. And here I am back. Sorry for the backlighting there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little foray into the jungles of my many animals. I do indeed have a lot of animals. Just ask Steve about that sometime. He says, you can't have any more, Dana. Which I would have to agree with him at this point, any more than what we've got now, and that would be overkill. So we're happy with them. I love each and every one of my animals. And hold on, let me close out of this. Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. John, you say, Duke, my dog, will bark when he hears people outside. He'll do that low rumble growl too, like he's tough. He's not. Yeah, Sammy does that. He comes on really intense, and sometimes that gets him in trouble with Reg, because Reg thinks that Sammy's going to hurt him, and that has caused a few fights along the way. But unfortunately, that's what happens when you have more than one male in the household sometimes. Sometimes you don't have any problems. Sometimes you have a few problems. Sometimes you have a lot of problems. So I guess that's all she wrote on this stream. But again, I want to thank all you guys and gals for joining me. And don't forget that tomorrow night, Blissful says her dog thinks he's a Great Dane. Sammy thinks he's big and bad till some bigger dog will get on him. Then it knocks him down a couple of notches. But don't forget, guys and gals, that tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, will be the Terror on Tour watch along. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have any of the guys from the band, the names on there with me. However, I'm still hoping that both CK and Uncle Bill will join me so they can sit there and make fun of me and the movie. That will certainly be entertaining. And also Sunday's watch along will be for Almost Famous, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Monday, of course, will be Camp Cronenberg. The Camp Cronenberg streams return. And Tuesday, I don't know. Wednesday, the Friday the 13th, the series episode discussion will return. Thursday should be another episode of Seductive Poison, the Resurgence podcast. And hopefully Friday I'll be able to have another early stream for you guys and gals. So again, thank you guys and gals for joining me this afternoon. And as I always say, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for now, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.